I think I got it to work, everybody. Welcome to All the Rage Sports. For the first time in 3 frigging years, we've been able to get together again.
It's been 3 years since you guys did this?
It has been 3 years. Since the twins were born, we have not done the podcast.
Wow.
Damn kids.
So returning is the one and only Jace Junk, and please compliment my hat, Jace Junk.
I won't have to ask for compliments. They will just automatically be coming.
Yeah.
I will
That is
provide a
correct.
link on social media if you would like to buy one as well.
We do have my sister, who is currently in the car and evidently doesn't know how to mute when her seatbelt light is going on.
Sorry. Nope, that's tire pressure because I'm running 22s that aren't stock.
Perfect.
That's fine.
And then Jesse, also our newest member. Everybody is pretty excited to have you here. Somebody actually knowledgeable in sports to actually join us, which is really great.
Yeah. Step up from your last crew.
Yeah, fuck me, right?
Hey, we're the only returning members, so.
Yes, that's true.
So, we were going to try to start this a couple weeks ago. We've had technical difficulties, scheduling issues, all kinds of stuff. So, we finally got started. I think we're going to talk a lot about preseason right now because first round of preseason games are done and people are already dropping like flies. There's already trade rumors flying around. Some trades have just been completed as of today. We'll be starting round 2 of preseason, and we'll really get a good look at some of these rookies that we're expecting big things from. But I just want to start out. What have you guys noticed this first week, if anything? Because obviously not a lot of really, really great playing time has occurred, but have you guys got anybody that you're really keeping an eye on in these coming preseasons, or somebody that kind of opened your eyes a little bit? Don't go all at once.
Yeah, who wants to jump in?
No,
Here
I thought you were going to
No,
call on
go
somebody.
for it.
You
Somebody jump in.
Supposed to lead somebody in.
I'm just going to do this.
I'll be back.
Fantastic way to start the
Sorry,
show.
Carly is currently doing her night job and Ubering, so as you can see.
I think one that I kind of want to point to, and it's on a team that is not going to get a lot of love this year and is probably going to be probably the worst team in the league, which is really hard to say about this team, and that's the Patriots. And I think that they have a lot of fun stuff going on with, maybe Drake May's not going to be no all-star coming out, but they're excited about him. And this receiver,
Talk about Milton?
yes, Milton and Polk.
No.
Oh, you know that's what's coming.
Slang it.
I was going to talk about Polk, okay, because everybody's been screaming about Polk and their one receiver and how, he's going to be so good and there's so many fun things that he's going to be doing. But he has kind of showed up in practices and has been looking pretty decent. I don't think there's any expectations for this team. So if there's 3 wins on this team, I think they're going to say that's a successful season. They have absolutely the most cap space of all time. They literally just traded Judon, just traded him a couple hours ago to the Falcons for a 3rd-round pick. So, I mean, I don't know if they have somebody they're looking at that they're tanking for, but they're just good. This is going to be a bad team. But I think there's going to be a lot of young talent that's going to get a lot of playing time early, so you're going to see some fun stuff. And I think there's going to be some fantasy relevant people on there as well. And I don't think it's going to be Ramondre Stevenson.
Are you sure about that? I can't name another fantasy relevant player.
That's what I'm saying, is some of the wide receivers, though, these rookies and young players, I think mid-season you'll be like, well, this will be a waiver wire ad that might give me my 12 points I need to win this week.
That's the hope.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, you're really scraping the bottom of the barrel there with that team.
Hey, I just figured I'd pick the worst team first And that way there's nowhere but up from here.
Well, I guess that's a good strategy. I have two. One good and one negative, I guess.
Okay.
I only caught a little bit, respectfully, honestly. Only caught a little bit of the preseason. Obviously, it was the first week. It's summertime. Still got shit going on. This is a golf, as you can tell by my attire. This is a golf scramble season. We're starting to wrap up the end of the year here in the northwestern part of the country, or northeastern. Sorry. But no, I did catch a couple highlights here and there, and somebody who stood out to me surprisingly. Sorry, Jesse. Tyler Guyton looked pretty good for the Cowboys. Limited snaps, really didn't see too much, but pretty much what everybody predicted. The kid didn't start playing football until his senior year of high school. So you were looking at somebody who's probably very athletic and has the tools, but is just not quite refined yet. But he looked pretty good. We'll see. I guess they're going to start him and give him first team reps in the next preseason game, so we'll see how that goes. And I'm sorry, dear Steeler fans, but why can't Justin Fields hold on to the fucking football?
There is a big thing right now that
is the problem with Nate Herbig being the one who's fucking snapping it.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I don't know what is going on with.
We drafted a
coaching.
center. It wasn't our drafted center that was snapping in the ball. It wasn't Justin Fields' fault.
Well, I saw Herbig got hurt today, so
the
might
two
not have to worry
snaps
about
that
that.
he fumbled, it was Herbig fucking snapping it to him.
Well, here's
Okay,
the thing that
fair,
doesn't make
okay.
sense to me, and I heard them talking about this today. They have Herbig, who has maybe 40 professional snaps at center, and most of them are from that preseason game. Who's a guard most of the time, and not a good one. Then they have Dan Moore still competing for that left tackle position with Broderick Jones. I don't know why they think that Dan Moore is something.
It's truly
Our
incredible.
lack of options, I would imagine.
And they're saying that our first round draft pick this year, Tony, is going to start right tackle. I'm like, well, Broderick Jones played right tackle last year, and if Tony's showing all this promise, fucking start him at left tackle, where he's naturally at, and let Broderick Jones take on the right side, which we were able to run off the right side fantastically with him and Darnell Washington on there. It did not make sense what they're doing with this line. They're not putting the best crew out there. They're like giving the veterans the benefit because they're the veterans. Go fuck yourself. You put the best fucking crew on the goddamn line and start them.
All right.
Sorry.
A little off topic here.
Lower your blood pressure.
This is what you get for bringing up the Steelers.
Yeah,
Well, sorry.
that is your fault,
It was
Chase.
a legitimate question. I
It
mean,
makes no sense, and I agree with
again,
you. I think it's the
don't
dumbest
question the guy
shit.
with this hat on. But yeah, those were just my two observations, and I don't disagree. I think it's early. It's not really, but that has been an issue with him. Through his career, has been turning the ball over. So yeah, 2 snaps or 2 fumbles through, and also
not his fault. He didn't even have like a center snapping it to him.
yeah.
He basically had the pretzel guy snapping it to him.
The ones he got a hold of, he completed and got some yards on. So
All right, but anyhow, moving
I don't
on.
think he looked terrible when he was playing.
Well, I want to stop real quick just on the Cowboys because there was something I did with them. Trey Lance came out and did not look horrible in this preseason. He ran the ball. He made some. Now, I'd seen that every single fucking throw he threw was a fastball. He needs to learn how to have some touch on the ball. But do you think that the Cowboys might be leaning on moving on from Dak after this season? Like, why else would you go get Trey Lance?
We're talking about the same franchise that won't pay CeeDee Lamb right.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, what did they even
Or
pay
Dak,
for?
or Michael
Pretty sure they
Parsons.
paid peanuts for him anyway.
Yeah. It was like 5th or something like that. It was something dumb.
Well, yeah, because he's bad. That's why the 49ers just gave him away. They just wanted to admit that they made a mistake by drafting him ridiculously
You have to
early.
be a horrible quarterback to not work in the 49ers system.
Well, exactly, because anybody can shine in that system. So
Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense on that.
All the fucking Brock Purdy hate, all the damn time.
Everybody.
Well, it's not hate. He's just Jimmy
Give him a little
Garoppolo.
fucking respect, will you?
I mean, he's Jimmy Garoppolo.
He's
They
No,
basically have the same
I
stats.
can assure you, he is not Jimmy Garoppolo. I got to live through that nightmare for half a season.
Well, no offense, but the Raiders don't have the 49ers weapons either. So,
Now,
well, I'm just saying it helps.
fuck you. Okay, you don't have to. We weren't even talking about this. Brock Bowers, just all right. Moving.
You're
on.
right, Brock Bowers. All right.
Thank you.
Can I
No.
say my favorite preseason quarterback battle thus far that has just heated up? The Raiders signed Nate Peterman.
Fuck you.
I'll tell you, it's gotta be a bloodbath back there in that quarterback room with Minshew, Aiden O'Connell, and fucking Nate Peterman.
Batting 1,000 there.
Yeah.
Again, don't throw stones in glass houses, you two. I wouldn't exactly go saying your quarterback room is the top of the. Thank God Russ going into this year with a calf strain, just like Aaron Rodgers did last year. Oh, calf injury, 4 snaps, Achilles.
Yeah.
You may not have time to give Justin Fields behind Mr. Unlimited, but we'll see. I'm not wishing bad upon you guys because I'm better than that. I'm not.
I'm saying that it adds to your quarterback room. I mean, geez, you have the competition of Nathan Peterman in there to really light a fire under everyone else's ass.
He's got better statistics inside your team stadium than any quarterback on your roster right now. So.
Oh no.
Nate Peterman?
Well, I'm talking about his college stats. But,
yeah. I mean, it's college.
Hey, University of Pittsburgh legend. Okay, you can't even hate on that. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm wondering if John
the last
Green's,
University of Pittsburgh
again. It doesn't make any
legend
sense.
we drafted really worked out really well for us. So.
All right, to get back on
don't
topic.
Don't backtrack on that now. But yeah, let's.
All right, go on though. You got some for us, Jesse.
Yes, my biggest preseason takeaway would be how underwhelmed I am with the new kickoff change. I feel like it hasn't been what I expected. I feel like it's been predominantly just to the 20, to the 25. Like, what's even different, honestly?
I feel like I'm watching an arena football league game.
This is the thing I talked to somebody about recently, and it's like, why are they like the returners aren't getting a running start to grab the ball?
Right.
Why are you not in the end zone and getting a running start to catch the ball?
Well, that's essentially why the NFL took
5 yards. Like, they're literally just catching it standing still every single time. Like,
that's because no one's allowed to run.
Kick.
Yeah, it basically is, but no one's allowed to move until they catch the ball, which in reality,
returners are though.
Yeah, they are, but
they're not getting a running start. Like, why are they not like?
Well, they can't run at it ahead of time because
they
don't know how they're going to kick it.
They're not allowed
the opposing
to be
team
in the end zone.
Yeah.
Like
they have to catch it inside the zone.
The landing zone is what it's called.
I also wonder if what we're seeing is such a watered down version of it because no teams want to give away anything on how they're going to play the kickoff.
I'm glad you said that because I was going to bring this topic up later, but we might as well get on it. Like, they did an interview with Sean McVay on the sideline, and they asked him about the kickoffs, and he said, "We're just kicking it out the end zone. We'll let them have it on the 30. We're not going to see any kind of returns."
Yeah, and I feel like all the teams are going to end up just doing that, and that's not the result that the NFL really wanted with this play, I feel.
Yeah, they gave them that extra 5 yards to try to incentivize them to actually kick it in the zone and have them return it.
No, if every team starts doing that, though, I feel like the NFL might just decide to tack on another 5 yards and start at the 35.
It was originally going to be the 35,
yeah.
And they committed it back down to the 30.
Because what was touchback last year? 25?
25.
The 50.
What was it with the old rule? If you kicked it out of bounds,
it was 40.
Like, if it's short or out of bounds, it's on the 40.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, that's always been a
your 40.
In preseason, we did see one go short.
Yeah, and that brings it out to the 40 as well, I believe, right?
I think it's a penalty. Yeah, it's equivalent to kicking it out of bounds.
Yeah, it's actually a penalty, and it starts on the 40.
Which is
That's what it'll end up being. Is just basically
Man,
kick
but-
it in the rectangle or start the ball at 40.
Well,
I just don't think it's going to be as different as what people are expecting. That's
No.
for sure.
I mean, I get what they're trying to do. Like they're trying. Like I always, when they implemented this rule, I know we're all old enough. Like the Josh Everett, injury. That was like, I mean, thank God. Not Josh Everett. Kevin Everett.
Yeah.
The tight end for the Bills. Like that was pretty horrifying, and that was actually a miracle of modern science that they did some. I can't remember. They did some like fucking cryogenic bullshit to his spine, basically to freeze everything, and then go in and like do surgery before he was fucking paralyzed. And that's basically shit like that. Like, I mean, Jesse, you played high school football. I got laid out a couple of times on kick coverage. When you're running full speed, it's fucking violent. Like you can absolutely get clocked.
I received a onside kick on the coverage team one time, and it bounced. It came right to me. I caught it. I was really excited. I got fucking leveled by a person that was easily 100 pounds heavier than me and easily 6 inches taller. I stood right up because I was so excited that I caught the ball, and coach was like, "Oh my God, are you okay?" And I'm like, "No, I'm fine." But then like an hour later, I was like, "Oh," I had that adrenaline rush at that time. But yeah, those things are incredibly violent fucking plays.
I think the reality is that no matter what, the kickoff is going to be essentially something that is boring. Either they're going to kick it out of the end zone and it'll be on the 30, or we go back to the way it was and they kick it out of the end zone anyway 90% of the fucking time. No matter what, it's going to be an irrelevant play. The thing that pisses me off about all of their changes that they've done is what they've done to the onside kick.
Yeah.
You couldn't make an
basically
onside
removed it,
kick
yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
It doesn't, with the kickoff, whatever their formation, it doesn't make a difference. It's going to be a pretty much irrelevant play as far as I'm concerned, unless the kicker really screws something up.
Yeah.
But what they've done to onside kicks in the meantime, why? For what reason?
One of the most famous like plays Pat McAfee did is when he kicked it to himself when they left the middle of the field open. He noticed it and then just kicked a little squib 10 yards and dove on it. And, like, that's gone now. Those exciting plays are no longer
the onside kick might as well not exist now. They've completely eliminated it. It's been like this for the past like 2 years, I
you
believe
have
now.
to tell the other team. You can only do it in the fourth quarter. You can only do it if you're losing. You have to tell the other team when you're doing it. You don't have shit like, I mean, what was it? I think it was maybe the Giants that did the onside kick to start the half off in the Super Bowl.
It was,
It was the Saints. Yeah, it was the Saints. Yeah.
It was the Saints against the Colts.
Shit like that, never again. You'll never see it again.
Yeah, it'll never happen again. And that's like a play that I'll remember forever because they were playing Peyton Manning in the Super Bowl.
They start off the second half in the fucking Super Bowl kicking an onside kick because they got giant balls.
Yeah.
Well, and it's really ironic that Devin Hester just got inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame
as a returner,
as a returner and basically kick returner,
and they're about to not exist.
Yeah, I mean,
literally.
he did also. He holds the record for career punt returns as well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we just inducted a guy into the Hall of Fame for being really good at kickoff returns. Again, guy literally opened the Super Bowl with a fucking kickoff return for a touchdown. Tony Dungy's a great man. He's, a man of God and everything. I think he was smoking crack when he was like, we're going to kick it to him. We're going to show him we don't fear him. And I know they won the game, but imagine the poop in his pants when that happened.
For sure, yeah.
Well, now we no longer, that has been taken from us.
Mm-hmm. Well, here's one other thing that I don't really understand is punt returns aren't any different. You can, it's basically the same play.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense that punt
Right.
returns are perfectly okay, but they're going to do it this way.
So everyone's still running full speed at you, and you can get killed that way, too.
The thing is, I think we're going to say this now, just like this, like, oh my God, they took the play out, until the first one's returned. And I think it'll happen early. I think in the first 3 weeks it'll happen. All it's gonna. A lot of people are under the assumption that there's going to be massive amounts of returns for touchdowns now. Because
I think
the
that's
way
the only
it's-
reason we picked up Cordell Patterson.
It is 100% the only reason we did.
Well, and it's preseason, so you don't really. Nobody's going to show.
That's
I mean, like the Steelers were
Right,
talking
but
about.
if every
Fields
kicker
might
just kicks it out of the
return.
back of the end
kicks,
zone,
but
then it's just as irrelevant as it was before. Everybody just gets an extra few yards. I mean,
Well,
it's
somebody. I'm sure there might be a few teams that just go fuck it, but there are like Jesse said. I think in the first couple of weeks, you're going to see people. It'll either people get creative with it, and it'll be a great addition to the game, and we may all have to put our collective foot in collective mouths, whatever.
yeah.
And it could be a great thing, or within 3 or 4 weeks, everybody's just going to boot it out of the back of the end zone, and we're going to have to fucking. It's going to be basically NFL Street, where you just don't kick, and everybody starts at the 15. Good luck.
Yeah.
I think the NFL is hoping that teams during practices decide that they are more likely to knock somebody down before the 30 than they are to not.
And I think that's another reason why this preseason's been important, because they are being very vanilla with it. I think they're gathering the data on it. They're trying to see, okay, if we just straight up kick it to the 5-yard line and let them return it, what's going to be the average starting field position for most teams?
Can we take them down before the 30?
Yeah, like, are we actually gaining room by doing this and having this coverage? And then I also want to think, I feel like there's going to be a kicker injury this year from them trying to be the safety.
Yeah, because the kickers can tackle just as well as anybody else, really.
Yeah. The kicker's got to be the safety net on these kickoff returns. If they get through the one and only line of defenders, who's left? The fucking kicker. Mm-hmm. So I have a feeling there's going to be like a instance where there's going to be a kicker that gets injured by getting ran the fuck over by a returner.
That's Daniel Carlson even said he was like, he's like, first time in my life I've actually been doing like upper body and biceps and like caring about that. He's like, I think he said he's added like 15 pounds. He's like, because now we're going to have to fucking.
Now the kicker's got to wear the Guardian caps.
This is a situation, I wonder how, because you only have to kick it so far into a certain little, spot. What is Sebastian Janikowski up to these days? What kind of shape is he in? Because he ain't going to catch anybody. He's not going to run anybody down, but if he so happens to be in the hole that the returner's coming through, he's going to lay him the fuck out. That's all I'm saying.
Now, I want to...
So the other weird thing about the kickoffs is that the hang time doesn't mean anything anymore.
Doesn't mean shit. So that's what I was just going to bring up next, actually. Are we going to see knuckleballs?
And let their team get down the field. That doesn't matter at all anymore. In fact, you want someone who can get it within that landing zone that doesn't have hang time as quickly as possible.
You know what's bullshit? And I just thought about the Chiefs could actually, if they were smart, and I am almost willing to bet they would probably try this at some point. Doesn't fucking Eric Reed still play for them?
I'm not sure.
I don't know. I think he did last year.
He might be the hottest commodity just for the sole fact of you have an actual fucking free safety who could probably put the ball in that little, what is it, like 20-yard fucking square or whatever, rectangle?
Essentially, yeah.
That's a genius idea. Just have the dude who plays safety that just so happens to be able to kick.
So here's what I'm wondering.
I've broken the code.
So coffin corner punting was the huge thing. You got to try to knock it out of bounds at that 1-yard line. Obviously, they're not going to try to knock it out of bounds, but are we going to have like a goal line type of kickoff? Because you can, and this is what it says, if a kick hits in the landing zone and then goes into the end zone,
bounces out,
it must be returned or downed by the receiving team. So are we trying to get this ball to knuckle and land in the landing zone and roll to the 1? So they have to return it from that point, and as soon as they touch that ball, they might be able to get 10, 15 yards or a yard into that end zone.
That reminds me of, I think it was the Steelers game that the kick didn't go into the landing zone. It just barely went over everybody's head and then just kind of bounced into the zone, which gave us on the 40. It was when we were watching the other night. which might have been the Steelers game, might have been a different one I was watching. But I kind of wonder if that's what they're trying to accomplish, is a knuckleball that is just goes right over everybody on the line's head and just lands within there and just bounces out and dies on the field in the middle. Maybe
Well,
that's
if that's the goal, why aren't they doing it in preseason? Like, there's no hiding that. If everyone's going to try to do the same thing, then they might as well be practicing it. I don't understand why they're being "quote unquote" vanilla with it.
And I'm
hard to
sure
say.
there would be
that
stuff
wasn't they were
coming out
trying
on
to do,
Twitter.
it didn't work.
I mean, I've
People
seen
would
a
be,
lot
like,
of bad
reporting.
kickoffs already. Like, the kickers seem to be struggling to even get it into the landing zone. So,
Yeah, that's what doesn't make sense to me. I feel like the punter would be.
Well, because the
better at
kicker's not a
these
punter.
things.
yeah, exactly. I know. I'll be interested to see if other teams like use their punter, honestly, and just
Yeah,
keep
right.
their
A
kicker for
kicker
field
isn't a
goals.
punter.
Yeah.
Again, you just need a guy who was like your middle linebacker or something, or just so happened to be, his team's place kicker in fucking high school.
That's
Literally.
it, man.
Get out there and just put the ball in the damn little grid.
That's
there.
your fourth middle
I
linebacker
now
right
feel
there.
like we need Harvin back on the Steelers because he should be our kicker during the kickoffs.
Dude, he'd probably be fucking perfect. You can only make it
That's what I'm
35
saying. We got
yards
rid of
anyway.
him as a punter, but like shit, he might actually be good at this.
But that's what I'm thinking is like if it hits in that landing zone and rolls towards the goal line, they got to pick it up and return it. If it hits in that land zone, they have to return it. But nobody can move until they touch it. That's the only thing that's crazy, like sucks about it. Because here's the other question: what if they just don't touch it? Like what happens?
I imagine they'd blow it dead at some
They
point.
just blow it dead, and then you get the ball.
And then where do you start? I imagine it'd be equivalent to like a fair catch at that point.
Safety kick will be from the 20-yard line. Kicker will have the option to use a tee. The setup zone and landing zone will not change. Oh, safety kicks are even like that too.
Jeez.
I was literally gonna say that it basically is like a safety kick at where the punter comes out and kicks it off the tee.
Why wouldn't they allow them to not have to place kick, like actually punt it? Kicker will line up with 1 foot on the receiving line's 40, cannot cross the 50.
We got to make it still feel authentic, which everybody's like,
That's it.
Phil, what the fuck is this?
Yeah. Everyone's
Yeah,
either going to be.
I feel like it's definitely going to look a lot different next year because after a year of doing this, they're going to change a lot about it.
I think you're going to see a return early, and I think that's going to change the way things work. But I have a very big feeling that a lot of teams are just going to be like, okay, you get 5 extra yards. I don't care. I'm still kicking it out of the back of the end zone.
I think that's likely. If there's Go ahead.
No, go. You go and finish.
I was just going to say, if there's teams, like if there are multiple teams getting these big returns, like within the first couple of weeks, teams are not going to do this. They're going to be so afraid of that. Everyone's going to be kicking it out of the back of the end zone. And then the play is basically eliminated at that point.
I'm betting 60%. Right now.
Yeah.
Like, I bet 60% of teams are just...
If Sean McVay's already coming out and saying that openly, then there's no way he's the only one thinking that.
Yeah. And I don't know if he's just meaning for the preseason, so you don't know his strategy.
I doubt it.
Well, really, what strategy is there? It's either you figure out if you can tackle the guy before the 30 on hitting it in the back of the landing zone, or, hitting it to them in the back of the landing zone, or... you squid, like I said, you knuckleball it right over everybody on the line and just try to bounce it, get the first bounce in the landing zone and just have it grounded basically there where they have to scoop it. Which I guess gives your guys more time, but either way, they have to wait till somebody touches the ball regardless. Like, that's the rule. So it doesn't really matter if you knuckleball it and somebody scoops it. Really, scooping it would probably actually be a detriment because they'd have a running start. They'd be scooping it.
If you could get the ball to stop between the 5 and 1 yard line.
Yeah, but I thought no one could move. I thought no one could move until they touched it.
That's it, though. But I'm saying they're in a stopped position picking up the ball. That puts them at a tremendous disadvantage on time.
That's
comparatively speaking to catching it and being able to just go. It may be a half a second.
It'd be difficult to say. Because that's the thing, is that kickers are not punters.
That's it. It's
Punters can make the ball bounce how they want it to bounce. Kickers have never thought about that in their life.
Yeah, why aren't we using punters here where they could put the backspin on the ball, drop it on the 3-yard line, and have it bounce the other way or some bullshit?
It is so much easier to control the ball if you're punting it versus getting it off of a tee or somebody holding it for you.
Yeah.
Like you can hold like some guys
angle,
like
the where you're kicking it off your foot.
Yeah, like for instance, Ray Guy used to drop it like almost like point down, and then I think fucking guys like Leckler and Brian Mormon used to almost like hold the ball at like a 45 and basically hit it across their fucking like shoelace back. Like well, that's why Leckler was the king of the coffin corner. He could throw that fucker in at like within the 5-yard line because he would get that thing spinning side to side. And he would just, I think, actually switch the direction of the ball and just get it going that way. So basically just land it, at 10. And it's going to go, at a 45-degree angle. Yeah,
I have a breaking news update. Breaking news. The Giants are trading defensive tackle Jordan Phillips to the Cowboys.
Aha. So, hey, I guess that can take a nice lead into our next topic. Carly, do you have any, preseason things going on that you're wanting to talk about before we move on? Doesn't sound like she does.
Oh,
no.
Okay.
So we've already seen a couple trades happen, and like I just said a little bit ago, Matt Judon was very
nothing.
unhappy.
I mean, that was basically decent this whole time. Can you hear me?
There you are.
Yeah, I can.
Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yep.
Sorry. No, I think Bo Nix. I think I liked everything that I saw from Bo Nix. He seemed to be doing pretty well. Like, all the rookie quarterbacks in preseason were shockingly good somehow.
Caleb Williams.
But, of course, in preseason, Kenny Pickett looked like an all-star in preseason. So, Jaden Daniels, every one of them. They all looked good.
Preseason last year made me not believe a single fucking thing that happens in preseason.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah, no.
Hey,
after watching Kenny Pickett, Kenny
womp.
Pickett was carving up them defenses that didn't give a shit.
With those 5-yard passes that he was throwing, but yeah.
And Calvin Austin was running 60 yards.
Yeah, so there's not really much to take from preseason, but I will say every rookie quarterback has looked composed. They've looked like there's been a lot of seeing preseason rookie quarterbacks that look like absolute garbage, and then guess what? They're still garbage. Bryce Young.
Yeah.
But I think this year, every rookie quarterback has looked good. I'm curious to see how they do in the in-season, actually. There's only, I think, Commanders are starting their rookie.
Jaden Daniels,
Yeah, they're starting him. J.J. McCarthy was supposed to start. Bo Nix, I don't think, is getting the start, but...
No, I don't think they're starting with him, but I think we should.
Who is their other option if they aren't?
They won't have much of an option when they start off,
Yeah, no, they're not going to look great early. I mean, who's the guy there right now besides him?
They're on the Steady committee.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, yeah, they got Stidham.
Yeah.
Who you were really excited about last year, so you can't really talk too much shit.
No, that fucking game against the 49ers, he did look like the truth, okay? Forgive me for feeling glimmers of hope once in a while. I think that
we all felt that way about fucking Kyle Mullins
2 seasons ago.
So it's fine.
So, yeah, I mean, they're going to start him. I mean, I think it's inevitable you'll see Nix.
I don't think it's a lock that Jared Stidham starts week 1, though. I won't be surprised if Bo Nix continues to impress in preseason.
Well, obviously, the Falcons are going to start Cousins, but Penix is looking
assuming he's ready, as far as I know. But
well, yeah, he may not even be ready, but...
We're forgetting about the one man in Denver because Zach Wilson is obviously going to be too busy with all the moms in the area.
So. That is true.
Yeah.
I bet there's a ton of cougar nightclubs in Colorado.
Yeah.
No question about it.
He's going to be swinging cougar puss the entire time.
He's just going to retire there.
Yeah.
He'll be at the ski lounge with all his buddies.
Well, I think he's going to have a lot of child support. to be able to retire.
But
Wow,
as much
yeah.
as
That's definitely my
Tyreek,
takeaway though from the preseason is just I think the rookie quarterbacks have looked okay, and that's kind of not typical. I feel like like the Bryce Youngs, the Trevor Lawrences, like they didn't look good in preseasons on their rookie year, and it's
Trevor
just kind
Lawrence
of
still doesn't
interesting
look good.
to see that.
So
Yeah, I don't. I'm not a Trevor Lawrence believer either. So,
But he was the best quarterback since Andrew Luck coming out of
That's
college,
right.
I heard. So.
Caleb Williams is the best one since I don't know, fucking.
Well,
Elway
we'll
or
see.
whatever
So,
they're
you know,
saying,
see, here's the
USC
thing that
quarterback.
bothers me about Caleb Williams. I saw like leading up to the draft and then talking about his decision making and how, he'd get pressure in his face and then he would not read the field. He was horrible at reading defenses and all this stuff. But then you go to like they're doing a Hard Knocks right now with the Bears, I believe. And they're going to that and they're talking about, Caleb's talking like he's a 10-year vet. He's really commanding the team. He's making all these plays. And I'm just like, I still don't believe it. Like, I get college quarterbacks that didn't win well still come out and do well in the NFL, aka Patrick Mahomes, like Josh Allen. Didn't like have a ton of humongous success in college, but like won games, just didn't win titles like the Jalen Hurts and what he was a backup and
Right.
won it, right?
I believe
Yeah,
so, yeah.
He was just all on the team. But like I get that happens. I still am very skeptical on him from a lot of reports early in that draft about him and not reading defense as well. Plus, the Bears just have a tendency of fucking everything up.
Well, they haven't had a good quarterback in a lifetime, so.
Yeah, their last semi-decent quarterback was.
Can you name him? 'Cause I
Smoking
can't.
Jay Cutler.
Oh, right. Yeah,
I-
Cutler.
I think the last semi-decent quarterback they had was Justin Fields, and I'm not even and Jesse
Oh, here we
will
go.
Jesse will
Jason,
vouch for me on this.
Thank
That
you.
I have
Thank
been
you.
a Justin Fields truther since he was on the Bears. I've always liked his play. I've always drafted him in fantasy for years. I've
'cause he ran the ball.
always thought that Justin Fields was decent. I think he was in the wrong scheme. I don't think they played to his abilities.
I
Will the
agree with you
Steelers? I
there.
don't know.
I definitely agree
Will
with
the
you there.
Steelers?
He was
I don't
not,
think they will, but
they-
I don't think he's a bad quarterback.
Rex
I
Grossman
think-
was 10 times the quarterback Justin Fields will ever be.
got to the Super Bowl.
He is who I was going to go with before you guys mentioned Cutler. So.
Yeah, he was. I
Well,
didn't
I think
forget
that's
about Jay Cuddy.
Probably their last
Yeah, so did
quarterback.
I.
Let's look at the quarterbacks that were drafted. We got 1, 2, 3: Caleb, Jalen, Drake May. I
I didn't see
definitely-
any of Drake May.
Drake May looked good, but
I didn't see him really either.
He's in a
okay.
terrible situation,
Yeah,
too.
like
so.
there is nothing good about that team. So like any
No.
play
I mean,
he
they-
makes, it's like, there's some promise somewhere. So I imagine he'll be starting pretty early because they're gonna be 1-5.
Who else do they have? They
6.
also
It's
took
Jacoby.
Milton.
Jacoby.
Yeah, it's
By the
Jacoby.
way, Milton in the preseason was slinging it like you wouldn't believe.
Everybody
Milton
fucking
looked like a
loves
fucking
Milton,
all-star.
dude. Everybody is
Drake
over the
May.
moon with Milton.
He looked like an
Oh,
all-star.
dude.
He really did.
They're
He looked
saying
like
he
Kenny
has a
Pickett last
fucking
season in
cannon.
preseason.
Well, he's another one they talk about, and they say, you need to throw this ball, 15 yards, I'm going to throw it 90 miles an hour. If you need to throw this ball 100 yards, I'm going to throw it 90 miles an hour. He's one of those, like, all I have is my fastball.
They were showing clips on Twitter of the guy who does the all 22 camera fucking behind him when he would throw a curl route or something. And the fucking ball comes out so fast that it's already hit the receiver and obviously bounced off his face mask or his chest and probably bruised his larynx. But they can't the camera guy can't even keep up to fucking go and make this turn. I predict that Drake May is going to be Josh Rosen 2.0.
Yeah,
Mark
you
it
have
down.
to throw a catchable ball, I'm afraid.
I can see that. I can see
Honestly,
Drake May
I can
making
see
it
it going
happen.
either way.
If it concusses your receiver, it doesn't really do you any good.
That's correct.
Is Josh Rosen on a roster?
Oh, fuck if I.
Not that I'm aware. I
doubt
mean,
it,
who
doubt
knows?
it.
I can't believe.
But I'll tell you, those
He's
first
the only
11
one
teams,
we're talking about
or those first couple teams that didn't take him, made a big mistake.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
He tried to pull an Aaron Rodgers and everybody that didn't take me's shit.
He was last on the Vikings practice squad in 2022, so I think
He might be a goner.
done
He's
for.
selling insurance
Yeah,
now.
see you later.
Who's selling insurance?
Don't worry, I've heard that Colin Kaepernick is available to play quarterback.
He is currently on the coaching staff.
That's what I heard, yeah.
1 second. Did you know Josh Rosen's full name is Joshua Ballinger Lippincott Rosen?
No wonder he had no chance.
Well,
I
Like,
did
what's
not
up?
know that.
That sounds like a trust fund,
just
baby.
like on the scouting report, just read his name and go, no, we don't.
No, I would have just immediate pat off
Sounds
the
like
board.
his family gets together and plays bluegrass music.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
right,
going
let's
back to
move
what I
on.
was saying, Caleb Willen and Jalen Daniels, I think those guys are going to be starting week 1. Drake May, I'm definitely going to be starting probably by week 6.
Penix might be just because Cousins may not be ready.
As far as I know, Kirk Cousins is ready,
Well, they
but
still
he's
have
still.
Ritter, don't they? Or did they get rid of Ritter? Did they get rid of Ritter?
I think he's still there.
He must still be there. I don't
sure
remember.
they traded him.
Did they? I don't
For
know.
what? A warm 6-pack?
Oh yeah, he's fucking backing up Kyler.
Oh, okay.
God.
Oh, wow.
I didn't even know that.
Didn't know that either.
In other words, he'll be playing at some point then.
Yeah, I mean, Penix,
Yeah.
I guess,
Right.
might get some playing time if Cousins
Whenever
is ready to
COD
go.
comes out, you won't see Kyler for 3 weeks.
Every double XP weekend, man.
That's right, baby. He's out of there.
That motherfucker's not. He's out.
Oh
JJ
yeah,
McCarthy, we were going to see.
Oh, yeah.
That's unfortunate.
He
Yeah,
also
just
looked
the-
good, but I mean, he's a Viking, so he's just destined
Wow,
to have the
Yeah,
world shit
that's
on him.
bad.
So
That's
what can you
bad.
do?
And then
Yeah, that was,
Nix, we're probably going to see him starting at some point this season. Like, I think that every quarterback taken in that first round has a lot of potential to start this season.
Oh, for sure.
Besides
I agree.
McCarthy.
Well, yeah. Is there
Well,
anybody that we're
yeah.
missing? Is that all of the quarterbacks?
That's all of them. Yeah, Caleb,
Okay.
Jalen, Drake May were 1, 2, 3. Then Penix was 8. McCarthy was 10. Bo Nix was 12. And then then it goes to the second round. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I wouldn't
It's
worry about that.
Relevant in the second round for that.
Yeah, really.
So, I mean, but that's still, 6 quarterbacks?
We'll likely see them all at some point. Maybe not Penix. In an ideal world, Kirk Cousins plays the whole season and we don't see
it really
him.
just
But
depends if Cousins is healthy. But
Yeah.
why did they draft the quarterback in the first round?
well, yeah, I mean,
Pay
that's the
Cousins
Falcons in a nutshell. Yeah.
millions
Well,
and millions of
considering
dollars.
side
I guess
note,
it's just
they
for the
traded
Falcons, I
Ritter
don't know.
for Rondell Moore.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
who's
oh.
out for the
Who's
season?
also up for the season.
Oh, well, no, good.
I've been trying to make that point for 5 minutes now. That's
That
what,
worked
yeah.
really well. Worked
Yeah.
really well for them. No,
Yeah,
I
they're
honestly
great
do not hate.
quarterback.
I do not hate the Falcons' move on this, and I think everybody really fucking was angry at them, but I don't think it was a dumb move. Yes, they had a lot of defensive needs, but their offense didn't. And I think that getting this quarterback when they had the ability with a lower draft pick to get somebody to secure a future for the team, because yeah, we got Kirk Cousins for 3 years, paid him a lot of money. That gives us a chance to win now. This guy gives us a chance to win later. I don't think it's a bad move. I hate comparing it to Aaron Rodgers and Jordan
How
Love and
did
Brett
that
Favre.
work out for the Steelers and Mason Rudolph?
Okay, but that was second round.
When they
taking a
drafted
chance.
Mason Rudolph 3 years before Ben Roethlisberger retired.
I
would
think
say-
the biggest issue that everyone had was that he was the 8th overall pick. And when you're drafting in the top 10, if he's not going to play right away, like everyone's going to think, well, let's draft a need that's going to help us right now. Because when you're drafted in the top 10, you're expected to make a difference on your team right now. And he's not, in an ideal world, he doesn't play. And that's what everyone's issue is with it.
I'm still just
I don't
upset that
disagree
he
with
was supposed to drop past everybody, and the Falcons took him before he could fall to the Raiders at 13. Which still not over it, but it's fine. Everything's fine.
Hey, you got the tight end though.
That's
Yeah,
right.
2.
But yeah, no, I don't think it was a horrible move. I don't think it was that. I think it looked bad the whole collection of it with like them not being able to answer the questions like, why'd you take a quarterback? Because
they fucking they
like,
called Kirk
That's
when
on
they
the
were
board.
on
I
the
don't know.
clock with the pick. Like they were like, "Hey, I know we just signed you all this money, and we told you that you were going to be the future you're going to be the franchise for right now." And I think his deal, literally after 2 years, he can be cut with like no more guaranteed money. And then they let him know while he's sitting at home watching NFL Network, watching the pick. He gets a phone call, and it's like, "Hey, by the way, just so you know."
yeah, I agree with you guys. Like Aaron Rodgers, for instance, was what in the 20s he was
I
drafted.
believe so.
Yeah, when the Ravens had
Or-
Flacco, they drafted Lamar Jackson at 32. You know, like when
Yes.
they had a guy in place, they did that late. I don't think that they thought it was going to fall to them late in the first. I think they said, "This is the guy we like."
All I'm
It's also
saying
just an interesting thing to think about, like what
I think this will be.
so the thing is that they've avoided the long-term loyalty of Kirk Cousins.
Yeah,
So you have somebody like Aaron Rodgers who throws an absolute shit fit, pissy fit about them drafting Jordan Love. You have Ben Roethlisberger who didn't want to teach Mason Rudolph jack shit because he was annoyed that what's that going to do to help our team right now? And I think what they're doing is they're like, we're going to get Kirk Cousins. We have no long term loyalty from him. We're going to also get a backup that he can mentor without being salty about it because we just signed him.
yeah,
And maybe hope that they can get him to mentor him because, like, you see that with teams that have these franchise quarterbacks when they draft a quarterback without even seeming like they were going to. The starting quarterback has a whole shit fit about it.
yeah.
Doesn't even want to talk to the guy.
I think
well, they
this
did pay
is
Kirk Cousins $100 million guaranteed, so at the bare minimum, he can mentor this quarterback.
right.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
this is a
exactly.
discussion we'll
I think it's a
have 2
different
years
situation
from
for them
now,
in a sense.
and then we'll either say, "Holy fuck, that was dumb as shit," or we're gonna say, "Oh my god, wow, we were wrong. That was an amazing idea that they did that. Look at where they're at."
Yeah, the last thing I'll say on it is that they better be right, because if they miss on Penix, then it's a disaster.
That's gonna
So,
look fucking horrible.
yeah.
Yeah. So I think the rookie quarterbacks are fantastic. Now, I wanted to go to some of the injuries that we've already seen. We touched a little bit on a lot of these guys, but there's been huge injuries out of the Vikings camp. We have Jordan Addison right now, expected to have an ACL tear. He was carted off the field. JJ McCarthy tore his meniscus in his knee. I think one of their cornerbacks also, starting cornerback, had an ACL or something like that. Like the
I
team
believe you're
is-
right. I'm just blanking on his name.
I
Yeah.
can't remember his name either right now. But like they're dropping like flies right now.
It's
What did we just completely change the expectations for this team because of all these injuries? Like, is now
Yeah.
this team going to be the tanker in the division?
I think they were always going to be the bottom of the division, honestly. Everyone else is better. The Lions are better, the Packers, the Bears. Like, they were going to finish last probably regardless.
I
they're
didn't know that
probably,
they were going to
depending
be
on
worse
Caleb
than the
Williams.
Bears.
Like, depending on Caleb Williams, they might be
Yeah,
dancing with that last spot, but they were going to be third or fourth.
for sure.
Now, definitely probably fourth.
At one point, I was going to say that
So
this division is.
talking about divisional placement, what were the divisions that we wanted to talk about today?
Well, we're going to hit on AFC East, NFC East, and that's what I'm going to get to next. And we're just going to start off with the NFC East here, or the North here.
I think we should all say what we think their placement is going to be first before we talk about it.
Okay, and I agree with that.
divisions.
And I think with these injuries, my thing has changed because I was originally going to say probably Lions, Packers, Vikings, Bears. And I think that has changed because of these Vikings injuries. I think it's going to be Lions, Packers, Bears, Vikings. I think that's how it's going to go. But I think this is possibly a 3 playoff division.
It's possible. It's hard to get 3 teams in one division into the playoffs, but
It's all going to play on Caleb and how he can play. But the Bears have done a lot of things right in what their additions with Swift. although Keenan Allen evidently has gained like 25 pounds and is running like a 4.
Not sure that's
Keenan
a
Allen's
great
fat
sign.
now. He can't even beat a corner on their fucking practice squad defense. It's fine.
Yeah,
No
they were
worries.
literally talking about that. He didn't get one ball through to him in the last practice. He couldn't get open against I don't know what the
I saw that.
Jalen Johnson.
He can't
There
beat
it is.
their fucking corner.
Yeah, that's rough because this is the guy that I don't know about you guys, but 2 years in a row I had him on my fantasy team, at least one of my leagues.
I've had him too.
Yeah,
Mr. Reliable. He
was very
for a while
reliable.
there. He was a Mike Evans.
The asshole couldn't have gotten fat when he was still a Charger. And I drink.
But yeah, what do you guys think of this division? I think that's my order. I think it's Lions and Packers. I think they're for sure the playoff teams. I think that the Bears have a chance to steal a wild card spot, but it's all going to depend on Caleb's play. And I think the Vikings are now the tankers in this division.
Lions, Packers, Bears, Vikings.
Yeah.
You could flip flop on the
I could
Packers
see the
and Lions,
Packers
but
and the Lions being a bit. The Packers and the Lions is a little. I think it's up in the air for me. Who takes
they're
first,
the teams
but
that are
it's
fighting
between
for
them two.
first. Yeah.
The only thing that scares me is statistically, Jordan Love had a really good year last year. And if you look at quarterbacks who, get that big contract and then their following year, there's usually like some sort of. I think he's still going to have a very good year, but I don't think we're going to see what we saw out of him last year. I think we're going to see a little bit of a regression. So I still believe in the Lions.
I think I agree with you there because I had a lot of faith in him last year, and he came on at the end very strong. But I still don't feel like they have weapons. I don't think they did enough to improve the offensive weapons he has around them.
I'm
not sure that the Lions have more weapons than them, though.
Yeah, the Lions have a ton of weapons.
I mean, the Packers.
They have Amon-Ra.
Amon-Ra, the number one tight end in fantasy last year, is Sam Laporta.
Well,
they still have Jahmyr Gibbs and Demont.
With a hammy.
Jameson Williams.
Jameson Williams still has enough speed to take it off the top.
But you look at the guys that the Packers had last year: Wicks, Jaden Reed, Christian Watson.
They did it all last year with the same fucking
Romeo Dobbs.
Yeah.
Like they just did a very good job. The Luke Musgrave.
Musgrave. Yeah.
See, but none of these players
had like a fucking 2 touchdown week. Like they
may not have star power, but you don't have to have star power.
Yeah, but they have a roster. They have enough guys that they have enough talent where Love's obviously sees the field very well. I feel like, and somebody's 5 guys, like somebody's got to get open. You know what I mean? Like I think they ran a lot of like empty backfield and shit a lot, or just like shotgun with him. And
well, while we're on the topic, what do you think they're going to get out of Josh Jacobs being the Raiders fan?
Well, and that's exactly it. Yeah, I feel like they have a little passing back there.
No, Jacobs can't hold on to the fucking ball. I can't tell you how many times he cost us games where. Shit, I can't even remember. I'm trying to think back. It may have been like a game against. No, it wasn't the Broncos. He would either like fumble coming out of the backfield.
Wasn't he shit against the Chargers?
Just what's that?
Wasn't he shit against the Chargers?
I can't remember, but A, he has a problem. He has issues holding on to the ball, and B, like coming out of the backfield. I can't tell you how many times he's almost like a volleyball setter. Literally, it would hit his hands, and it would just be like. Here to the other team. Like a linebacker would just be running around minding his fucking business, and all of a sudden the ball's just like levitating towards him because he wouldn't turn around in time, and he would just. No, he's not a pass catching back, and neither is AJ Dillon, which I don't really understand why they let.
So I feel like they have 2 similar backs then, and they paid Jacobs a lot of money to not catch passes. So I
don't think he's going to be really any better than. He's not going to be an upgrade from Aaron Jones, in my opinion.
Absolutely not. So here's what I'm going to compare Jacobs to right now. DeMarco Murray. And this is not so much in the talent, but as his career progressed. We remember that year near the end of DeMarco Murray's run where he got like it was like 450 touches, 500 touches, something crazy. Led the league in the rushing, had all the touchdowns, and then you never fucking heard from him again after that. That is what Josh Jacobs has happened 2 years ago. Led the NFL, had the most touches, had the most yards, had all this shit. Had a horrible season last. Well, not horrible, but like a below his needs kind of season. Now he's on a different team, and he's gonna just fade into the wasteland at this point.
In the life, you don't last very long.
Invest fantasy advice. Invest in AJ Dillon because Josh Jacobs will be hurt by week 5.
Yeah, I think that his time is coming past, and he's washed.
I'm investing in Samir White is who I'm investing in.
Don't tell me that.
How's your offensive
I
line
am
there,
also
Jace?
doing that. You're not allowed. You don't have the hat.
That's fair.
So, I think that's kind of the breakdown of the NFC North is the Bears are kind of definitely the wild card team. They could be 10 wins, they could be 5 wins.
But I think we more or less all agree on the standings for that division for the most part.
So
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's Packers and Lions up for 1 and 2. It really just depends on how each team progresses this year. I think if the Packers get better this year, they lock up the 1. If the Lions stay the same and the Packers get better, because the problem is I think the Lions are a good team. They have a coach that is an interesting guy.
Kind of dumb
in a lot
when
of
it comes
ways.
to going for it on 4th.
And I think that coach truly, even last year, lost them games.
Yes.
The
They-
few
Yeah, the
games that they
NFC
did lose,
Championship
they
game.
lost it
Yeah.
because of him.
There was 2 games
And I
for
think
sure,
that's
one of them being
still
the
a
NFC
problem.
Championship.
So it's not necessarily just about talent. It's also, when you look at coaching and stuff. If they get if the Packers get better this year, I think the Packers could have a chance to take the 1 in that division. And if the Lions stay the same and I get it. Their coach wants to lay his balls out on the table and say, "Hey, fuck you. I'll do it. I'll lose
And
the
it's
game."
worked a couple times, but he's also fucking,
But it also
cost
comes
the
back,
game.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
He's a good coach, but he's very much a player's coach, and sometimes I think
Exactly. The
he's
players
a poor
coach.
player. He gets a little too in the moment, and he's like, "Fuck it," and I love it. Like he's willing to be
Which,
like,
that's great because there's not much of that in the league.
I'm gonna roll the dice on my guys. I believe in them. Just go fucking get it done. And
Right.
sometimes it don't work out.
Yeah.
It's an interesting. It's hard to say if it's going to be the Packers or the Lions. It's a coin flip for me personally. Who takes that division? The Bears could even go up to second if one of them is shit. Jared Goff could fall off a fucking cliff. He's old. He's had his fucking time. How much are we really trusting in Jared Goff over Jordan Love or Caleb Williams
I don't
at
know.
this point? It's hard to say.
I look at the rosters of both those teams, and nobody stands out as a difference maker on those Packers teams, both on offensive and defense. Alexander's about the only defensive player I can think of that is a difference maker, at least in the secondary. It just doesn't seem like they have it all. I think they're riding on the talents of Love a lot.
It'll be interesting to see who seems to be coming out on top on that division because I do think that is an interesting top 2. Like I said, there's a chance if Caleb Williams is fantastic that the Bears even take 2 over the Lions or the Packers. I think the Bears are anywhere from 2 to 4. 1 and 2 is up for grabs between the Lions because I only say that because Caleb Williams is a wild card. You have no idea how he's going to be. If he's good,
no doubt.
I think they could take over the Packers.
I feel like a lot would have to go right for the Bears for them
But I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm saying it's possible though.
I just don't think the Packers no.
It's not possible for the Vikings to finish 4th.
Correct.
And there was a bunch of injuries that the Packers had. That is the only way.
All right, let's move on now to the NFC East. We'll get into the other half of the NFC here. I think we discussed this in one of our preliminary episodes that never got aired, thanks to my lovely audio visual skills. So I think we came into a very good consensus that we really feel like this is the Eagles' division. The Cowboys, I personally had the Cowboys third in this division. And I had the Commanders 2 with the Giants coming up the rear. As I said that, as I'm saying that, I have more and more feeling that the Giants aren't going to be as bad as we think they are, but I still think they're going to be low on that totem pole. I originally thought they were going to be like a 3-win team, and I think they're going to be better.
So you're saying that there's a chance the Commanders get the 2, right?
I am saying that I do not feel that the Cowboys did anything for that.
They didn't do anything, yeah.
Anything to make their team better.
I'm thinking in terms of the last division we were just talking about, where I was saying if Caleb Williams is good, if Jaden Daniels is good, you say they may get the second. But when I say if Caleb Williams is good, the Bears may get the second.
Well, I'm saying the Bears get the second,
and I agree with you.
I think the only way the Bears get the second is if the Packers fall off. I think that's the Lions division.
Well, that's the only way the Commanders get the second.
You're not wrong. If Caleb Williams comes out and lights it up because he's got the weapons all over the field, yeah, he could take second with a 9-10 win team, and I could see it happening. You're not wrong. I don't think they can win the division. I definitely don't think that. But yeah, that's how I feel about the Commanders.
Yeah.
I don't hate it. I mean, the Cowboys they've got disaster written all over them this year. I mean, Dak's not paid, CD's holding out.
CD Lamb doesn't sign a contract for 6 weeks.
And then Jerry Jones just going on the radio every other day saying, we're not in a hurry, we're not worried about it. We don't care if he's at practice or not. I'm like, bro, he's going to leave. Like, he's just going to leave. And you're like, no, they're a disaster waiting to happen.
They lost.
Well, hey, I hear the trading for him since Brandon Ayuk's, supposedly any day.
Yeah.
And we'll get to that topic here when we get to the AFC North, but Jesus Christ. But yeah, no, I think the Cowboys, this is the season that they fall off pretty heavily.
I think it's pretty obvious. Like the Eagles take the 1. I mean, there's no. I don't feel like there's much of a question about that.
Saquon Barkley to that offensive line and not expect them to be a 12-win team.
My only concern's our coach. Like, I just worry about Nick Sirianni after what I saw last year. Like, I'm not confident in him whatsoever. He is incapable of calling plays. He's basically the CEO head coach now, whatever the hell that means. So we're basically, Vic Fangio's completely in charge of the defense, and Kellen Moore's completely in charge of the offense. And I don't know what Sirianni's going to do. He's just going to sit over there and yell at the fans, I guess. So if they can keep him under wraps and he's not a complete disaster, then yes, they should win the division. They have the best team on paper, but sometimes that doesn't always matter.
No, you're not wrong there. That's for sure. But I just don't see another team in this division.
No, because everyone else is just not that good that they should win by default.
I do have a very weird, sneaky suspicion that Jerry Jones has this heavy love for Trey Lance so much that he's going to let Dak walk. And
it'd be a mistake.
It would be a huge mistake. But if that happened, Dak could go just about fucking anywhere and be...
He'd be the biggest free agent, without question.
Huge.
He'd be bigger than Tom Brady because he's significantly younger than what Tom Brady was.
Right. I mean, you think teams that are needy... No offense to you there, Jace, but the Raiders could take them and immediately be better. Titans immediately be better.
Assuming they don't pay one of the 3 people, Micah Parsons, CeeDee Lamb, and Dak Prescott, who do they let go?
Right.
See, I think they would keep Micah Parsons above everybody else.
Yeah, but I just think that's a mistake.
They have been testing him at running back in training camp. I see.
Well, they do have no running back, so Rico Dowdle
Have you seen that? They've had Micah fucking Parsons taking running backs.
I feel like I vaguely heard of it, but
this team,
like I said,
McCarthy's gone. I think McCarthy might be gone mid-season.
Well, he's already a lame duck coach this year too, so it's not great.
I think he's gone mid-season. I think that Dak's on his last year. Is that right?
Yep, he is
Okay.
last year also.
I think
And if they don't extend him, they can't franchise tag him this year either. So he's gone if they don't pay him this year.
Yeah, I think he's going. I really do. I think they go, fuck, we're so cap fucked right now. Let's take a chance on Trey Lance and then rebuild the defense. Like,
Fine by me.
I have a weird feeling that that's what we're gonna be talking about next season. Why else would they go out there? Why they talked so much about how heavily they graded Trey Lance coming out in that draft, and Jerry Jones has the biggest penis for him.
Could you imagine if they pay CeeDee Lamb and Micah Parsons and let their quarterback go, though? Like, that just feels like roster malpractice. Like,
yeah, it sounds like a very Cowboys thing to do, to be honest.
You're not wrong. Jerry Jones has no shame. He doesn't care. He'll do anything he thinks is the right thing to do.
Dak Prescott. Thank you.
You sure?
Yes.
But then you think the Patriots, hell, the Jets will probably be looking for one because.
I mean, Rodgers will be torn ACL by midseason again. I'm sure. So.
I don't think anybody in the NFC North is really going to be looking for one. NFC South, Saints or Bucks could.
I mean, if you look at you look at the NFC, the Bucks maybe. You look at because I mean they got Baker.
Right.
If I were the Bucks, I'd rather have Dak Prescott over Baker Mayfield.
Yeah. The Seahawks.
And then you look at some AFC teams. Like how long? I know they paid him a bunch of fucking guaranteed money, but I mean, it's been 2 years, and the Browns have had the same quarterback. That never happens. Give me 3 years with the same quarterback on the Browns. When ever in our lifetime has that happened?
Right. Well, he barely has played. He's been injured off and on, getting his rub and tugs,
right.
but.
Yeah.
Speaking of just random off topic, real quick, on the topic of Geno Smith, we do have to acknowledge that Tavon Austin retired today, so we have to tip of the cap, pour one out to the owner of the greatest highlight reel ever created on YouTube. Everybody has watched that. If you were a football fan, everybody has watched that 8 billion times. I don't care who you are.
I literally have seen that highlight reel. Yes.
Yes.
He was pretty electric.
I did see a comment. It was like, if he came out in today's draft, he would be like the 3rd overall pick.
Really?
He would be perfect. Like him or like Percy Harvin for today's game.
Yep.
Just ahead of
their time. All right. Well, I think that's
so. Who's taking the 4th spot?
The Giants have to be at this
stage. Move on.
Yeah, everyone agrees.
Right?
Yeah.
Giants, Commanders, Cowboys.
Eagles. If the Cowboys are bad, the Commanders could sneak to 2, depending on how well Jaden Daniels plays.
Cowboys Cowboys have been bad, but they still eke out fucking 10 wins.
CD doesn't play for the first how many ever weeks until they get a deal done, and the Commanders sneak into the 2nd spot.
I feel like that's a very good.
Certainly a possibility. Mm-hmm. Although I don't love Dan Quinn as a head coach, but
he's just got to keep a defense going and just
Yeah.
And it was basically the same. Him and Ron Rivera. It's like same but different.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah, but different. But same.
But still same.
Yeah, as long as he can just man the defense and just kind of let Jaden Daniels flourish, I think they should be okay. Which who is just real quick off note here? Who is their new offense? Oh, they did get Cliff Kingsbury to run the offense.
That's right. It's Quinn and Quinn.
That is the thing, is that they do have Cliff Kingsbury.
Yeah,
that'll be interesting to see how he pairs with Jaden Daniels.
Yeah.
Well, I think he will actually. I think that's another reason. I think he will be very good just because I don't think he has what it takes to be a coach. But as far as just an offensive mind and just handling one side of the ball, Cliff Kingsbury.
Certain people made to be a head coach. There's certain people that just should never be anything more than a coordinator.
Yeah. Josh McDaniels.
Absolutely.
Yeah. 100%.
And let's be honest, Daniel Jones grew a beard this year, so they could be doing better because
the Giants could move into 3 or 2.
Yeah,
because of that.
They could move up from the 4 simply because Daniel Jones grew a beard.
He's approaching Eli era or aura,
Yeah.
All right, moving on. I think we got general consensus that it's Eagles division with the Cowboys and Commanders kind of alternating 2 and 3, and then the Giants coming up the rear. Let's move to one of these fun divisions. Good old AFC East. Bills, Dolphins, Patriots, Jets. I think it's obvious that the Patriots are the basement dwellers and possibly the worst team in the NFL.
Yeah.
I think that they're a lock for the worst team in the NFL without question.
Worst team in the NFL, no doubt. Yeah.
No, I agree. I think that
I don't think there's anyone worse. If the Falcons hadn't gotten Kirk Cousins, I would have said the Falcons would be down there too on the worst team. But it's got to be the Patriots. I mean, Broncos maybe could be down there, but worst team in the NFL, I would say it has to be the Patriots.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I would be surprised if they got 2 wins this year. They aren't playing the Steelers, so they definitely aren't going to win at least that. So,
yeah.
I'm still just not used to the world that we live in where the Patriots are bad. Like,
I love it.
It's so great.
It makes me wet.
I had to watch the Tuck Rule live as a child. I do not care. Cry your tears.
I hope
they are falling upon
decades of mediocrity.
Those poor Boston fans and all their championships, not just football. So
yeah. Oh yeah.
Fuck
the Red
all them
Sox,
assholes.
the Bruins. Yeah, go
Yeah, fuck
fucking
them.
cry
I
for
was
a
at
while.
Heinz Field. I was at Heinz Field for the
When
Jesse James
caught
no
that
catch
ball.
week 17.
Acrisure.
And there was no one more insufferable than all the motherfuckers wearing Tom Brady jerseys in that stadium. I can tell you that.
That's all right. They lost the Super Bowl that year anyway, so you know.
Fun fact: I got to witness the Josh Scobie game where he why can't I talk? Missed 4 field goals. I wore a Raider jersey, got no shit whatsoever, but the dudes that were walking around in Brady and Gronk jerseys got like chased out of the fucking stadium. I think you were actually safer probably wearing a Browns jersey than a Patriots jersey.
True. I will say when I was at the Browns Stadium, they were actually pretty, cordial with me wearing my Steelers gear. Except I smoked.
Okay,
back then,
so
and when I went to go smoke, I was in a crowd of Browns fans, and the security guard walked up to me and told me to put out my cigarette while every one of the Browns fans was still smoking. And I'm just like,
yeah.
are you kidding me?
Wrong jersey, my guy.
Wrong neighborhood.
So what's the consensus here on the Jets? What do we think?
I think this is the hardest team to read because we just don't know how Aaron Rodgers' leg's going to work. But
behind Aaron Rodgers right now, it's who's behind Aaron Rodgers right now?
I actually have no idea.
Isn't the fucking Patriots quarterback from last year?
Oh, did they sign?
He's in Jacksonville. You're talking about?
Oh,
Mac
that's
Jones?
Jacksonville. You're right. Mac Jones. He's in Jacksonville. You're right.
But no,
who the fuck even is it that's behind Aaron Jones or Aaron Rodgers?
Because it was Zach Wilson. And
Tyrod Taylor. Taylor.
They signed Tyrod Taylor.
Oh, sweet Jesus!
Such a great injury insurance quarterback.
Yeah.
Just the old folks home in the quarterback room.
Yeah, fucking gonna bring him out of the tunnel in wheelchairs. Fuck.
I don't know.
So,
I agree though. I think the Jets are the worst team to try to figure out what they're going to be this year.
I still think the Bills are a playoff team, and I think a lot of people hate on them, thinking that Diggs is gone. They lost their window. They lost a few talented people.
I don't care about Diggs. I barely thought they were a playoff team last year with Diggs.
Yeah.
So.
Well, all the reports I'm seeing is it's addition by subtraction because it seems like everybody's happier with Diggs out of town.
Exactly what I was going to say.
The Bills could actually lose him and Gabe Davis and somehow be better.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think it's possible.
I mean, I can't argue with that. Look at the Chiefs. They've won 2 Super Bowls with no receiver, so I don't understand anything at this point.
Can we not talk about that?
Yeah, you're right.
So I think the Jets are the biggest thing.
But the Bills are interesting to me because I feel like the Bill. I don't know. I don't believe in the Bills. I think Josh Allen is a good quarterback, but he can't put the entire team in every game on his back.
He does every week.
You can't expect him to make up for every other part of the team's shortcomings every single
Eventually, his
week.
body is going to break down. Like that's
Well,
it.
yeah, right.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, I think the Jets are going to be like I had faith in them originally because I was like, oh, you know what, there is an
That's
off
bold of you.
chance that this could be the division winning team if Aaron Rodgers plays to his own form and that defense is good. And then I sit and I hear reports of what's going on in the front office, and with Hassan Reddick and like just how horribly
What a disaster!
how
By the
horribly
way,
mismanaged
what
this
a
team
disaster.
is.
Because Joe Douglas knows he's on his way out, so he's just trading for the biggest names he can get and hoping he can produce a team out there and get him some wins to save his job. But
Jets going Jet.
yeah, Jets.
I think that this team may win 5 games.
But they could win the division, though. That's the weirder part.
Yeah.
Because if the Bills
Yeah,
don't
that's
live up
so.
to
If they win 5
expectations,
games or 14,
yeah.
Yeah, that
That's
doesn't make sense to me.
It is boom or bust. They will win. Yeah, 5 games and it will all fall
and I
apart.
feel like we'll know. I feel like we'll know by week 4.
Yeah, no, 100%. If Aaron Rodgers is still upright, they could be 4-0 at that point. If Aaron Rodgers needs to go in his dark deprivation retreats or whatever the fuck he does.
Have some ayahuasca.
Yeah, like
Newsom hallucinating.
He gets hit and it sends him
So-
in a flashback.
So the only one we haven't touched on is the Dolphins. How do we feel about the Dolphins?
I feel like the Dolphins are the Niners of the AFC. I don't know where they come up with all the money they're paying everybody. I don't know how they're managing the cap the way they are. They have 30, I think it's 33 now with Tyreek and 28 with Waddle, and then Tua on 55. That's like that's 50% of their friggin' roster right there, basically.
Well, yeah, just pull up all the people they lost on defense, and that'll explain how they're paying for everyone on offense. They lost Christian Wilkins to the Raiders. They lost both their starting corners. Like, this team is decimated on defense. They're going to be in shootouts all year.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me just be distracted for 1 second while I touch myself to the thought of Christian Wilkins back. Anyhow, moving on.
I feel like there is a chance. I feel like they are the expected winner of the division.
The Dolphins?
Yes.
I would say a lot of people would
I
argue
think
the
that's
Bills, but
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Even with losing Diggs and everybody else, I still think that
only just
the Bills
because
are gonna win. I don't
history.
think that they will. But I don't agree with. I think the Dolphins will win the division. If they are lucky and manage to throw it to Tyreek Hill on enough touchdowns that they can. But I don't think I've never been a believer in the Bills, and that's not changing with all the stuff that they've lost.
Right. Yeah, this division's tough. This division's a tough one to pick. I still think the top 2 teams are obviously the Dolphins and Bills. I think they're the playoff teams out of this. Patriots are the bottom dwellers, and the Jets could be fucking anything. I have such a hard time believing them.
I think I believe in the Jets more than I do the Bills right now, personally.
Okay.
I mean, that's not unfair. I mean, the Jets definitely have more talent. It's just a matter of, like, can Brees stay healthy? Can Aaron Rodgers stay healthy?
And Robert Saleh get out of his own way.
If the Jets live up to their potential, then I think, that's... I believe if the Jets live up to their potential, I believe in the Jets more than the Bills living at their full potential.
Basically, you're looking at the Bills' floor versus the Jets' ceiling.
Yeah.
Essentially.
And then the Dolphins are just somewhere in the middle.
Yeah. The Jets are 100% right now. If we don't make this Super Bowl, it's a bust. They understand, like,
Which
if
won't
they have
happen,
a bad team, like, so many people's heads are rolling.
Oh, they're gone. Yeah,
They
everyone's
know it.
fired.
Everybody knows it. So they're trying to throw all these eggs in the basket and run up the hill right now, and they're gonna fall. Like, that's just how it's gonna happen. But
Well, the thing is,
still don't.
we've throw all the eggs in one basket,
Goddamn
and
Jets.
we've seen that with the Rams.
Yeah.
And guess what? They won a Super Bowl,
Yeah.
and they have nothing, and they won't for a decade.
You know what the
But-
difference is, though? Sean McVay,
Yeah, compared to Robert Saleh. Yeah.
Robert Saleh.
Well,
It's not even in the same hemisphere.
Yeah.
The Rams don't have anything for a decade. They had their first round pick in since
nice.
2018 this year.
No,
So
Round of applause.
stick that one in your pipe and smoke it.
It's so funny. I remember somebody saying, like, the
Fuck
Rams
them
really.
picks. Don't forget.
The Rams really drafted Jared Goff and went, fuck that, we ain't doing that again, and trading away every single first round draft pick ever.
No.
Okay, I think this one's a very up in the air division. I think there's a lot of us that can make arguments for the Bills, Dolphins, or the Jets at that point. But we all are general consensus that the Patriots are the worst fucking team in the NFL, and it makes me a happy person every day.
Who's the only other contender for worst team in the NFL? It has to be the Broncos, right?
I almost say the Panthers.
Yeah, I would say the Panthers.
Oh yeah, the Panthers, Broncos, and Patriots are in the toilet bowl right
They
now.
really are. I mean, you could even almost make.
I can't think of anybody
else.
else that's absolutely god awful.
Titans still have a decent defense, but who the fuck do they have at quarterback right now?
Yeah.
Will Levis.
Quarterbacks. Yeah.
After the news we got today, the Vikings could be looking at the first overall pick next.
That
You're not
actually
wrong.
is true.
Could.
The Vikings could be.
Really
I mean,
could.
Sam Darnold at the helm
Yeah,
really
basically-
changes things.
The Vikings, again, we have to figure out, what value Daniel Jones's beard adds. The Giants could be in that conversation, but one
The
man's
Giants are
facial
always in
hair
that
could be
conversation.
one man's facial hair though could be the fucking difference. You never have any idea.
How much
Old
is this
Danny
going to
Dimes,
affect
yeah.
Justin Jefferson's fantasy value? You think?
Oh,
Is he going to fall off completely?
I think it doesn't fucking matter because if you look at last year, it doesn't matter who his quarterback is. He's still scoring 20 fucking fantasy
You're not
points
wrong.
every year. Every
did have
fucking
the
game.
Pastronaut
Justin
throwing
Jefferson,
at him.
it does not matter who his quarterback is. And he showed that last year.
That's fair.
do not touch, do not draft. Just the variance is going to be too much. Just stay the fuck away from him at this point.
I think
If he
if there's
falls into your
other
lap,
options,
great.
yeah, I think if he's the guy there, and you're picking like
He's the only guy that
8
will be
to
able
12
throw
or
to.
something, and some reason Justin Jefferson's on you, you have to take him. There's no other reason.
I wouldn't let him fall out of the first round, but if I were in the back, I would take him.
Just
I
Jefferson
would.
ain't making it to the 8 to 12. I don't care who you are.
Yeah,
But-
if he's, I'd say even 6 to 12 at that point because he should be top 4 at worst.
I guarantee you there will be drafts you will be in this year that he will be probably available at the beginning of the second or possibly even beginning of the third just because of
They're scared of this. Yeah.
yes.
Oh, there's no way.
I
don't think.
I trust Nick Mullins and Joshua Dobbs more than I trust Sam Darnold. I'm sorry.
Okay, well then where does CD Lamb lay? Do we just
I don't
have
know
to
what
wait?
to expect.
What
You're
we
just
do-
waiting.
CeeDee Lamb's still going fourth, fifth pick right now.
I'm
My
not touching
opinion
him.
on Justin Jefferson is if CeeDee Lamb, Tyreek Hill, and CMC are off the board, I'm taking Justin Jefferson. I
You
don't
would
care.
take Justin Jefferson instead of
Yeah.
Amon
Jason's
St.
gonna die.
No, I'm saying
Oh,
Amon
my
Ra.
hair.
I think
What are
if
you
Amon
doing?
Ra,
No.
Tyreek Hill, CMC, and CeeDee Lamb are all off the board, I'm taking Justin Jefferson.
Jamar Chase.
He's holding out too.
Also in contract issues, just the same as CeeDee Lamb.
It's true.
I don't
would
think you
take
can
Justin
draft
Jefferson
either.
over
There's a
contract
lot of
issues.
these
I would take
receivers
Justin
early that
Jefferson
are
over
risky
CeeDee Lamb
because of their
or
contracts.
Chase. Jace has nowhere to talk because he's keeping Saquon Barkley at the 3rd overall in our 10 team.
He already changed.
Over
I changed
for a
that.
pick.
I changed that fake news, false information.
Yeah, who'd you change it to? Your 3rd round pick, right?
Brees Hall for a
I think
fourth.
Brees
Brees
was my 5th, I thought.
It's
Third
Brees
or
Brees
fourth.
for a, I was gonna say you're the dumbest person alive if you take fucking Saquon Barkley 3rd overall. But no, I fantasy wise, when it comes to the first round, if I'm 5th pick and Amon Ra, CeeDee Lamb, I would take Justin Jefferson over CeeDee Lamb
You're
and
calling me the
Jamar Chase.
dumbest person alive, and you're going to take Justin Jefferson 6th overall. You're smoking crack. You are
Yes.
on drugs.
Look at his stats last year
Put
with
the
a
pipe
shit
down,
quarterback.
Carly.
Look at his stats last year with a shit quarterback. It doesn't matter. He's the only person they have to throw
There's
to.
shit
And
quarterbacks,
Jordan
and there's
Addison
people
just
that
went
the
out.
Jets drafted.
Jordan Addison just went out on an ACL. Are you kidding me? Give
TJ
me
Hawkinson's on IR, I believe, or pop at least.
Yeah, give me Justin Jefferson all fucking day.
So you have Justin Jefferson and Aaron Jones on your offense.
That's it. No.
Draft away. You're a dipshit. But anyhow.
No, I wouldn't have Aaron Jones.
Justin Jefferson.
Well, someone will take Patrick Mahomes in the first round. I don't doubt that for a second.
Won't be me.
I debated on keeping him with my second round pick because
Jordan
that's why I
Love
made
at
him.
the 11th pick will take Patrick Mahomes.
Well, last year he got pissed because I took him because I had the 12th pick also last year, and I think CeeDee Lamb and Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, that's really strange that keeps happening.
I won last year. I had the least odds.
I think we should discuss that. Maybe somebody else should be in charge of being the randomizer next year.
You saw the video. There was no cuts.
I don't believe that you didn't run that simulation a million times until you got your desired outcome. I don't believe it at all.
What?
You would cheat your own grandmother at a game of Go Fish. Jesus. I don't want to hear.
Who would you guys take over Justin Jefferson right now? Who? I'm curious.
I would take
with the contract issues.
St. Brown, Chase, and Tyreek Hill. I would all draft above Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, I agree. I don't necessarily disagree.
All over too.
Ooh,
I would take Jalen Waddle over Justin Jefferson. Right?
Jalen Waddle's going in like the 5th round.
What?
Which is stupid.
He's literally going like 4th round right now. Have you done mocks?
No, Jace has finished last in every league in the last 3 years.
Yeah, that's true. This guy's telling me what to think about fantasy that's finished last in every league.
Why are you lying?
Hold up. Bringing it up now. Bringing it up.
In the $100 league, I have finished dead last 2 years in a row, but not in the other league. Get the fuck out of here.
All right, here we go. Draft results.
Oh no, we're getting receipts. No, fucking. I just have to. I just say Justin Jefferson. If you look at him last year, at the end of the year, he was fine. There was no issues, and there's no one else to throw to. If Sam Darnold's going to throw it to anybody, it's going to be Justin Jefferson. He's going to
throw to the other team.
He may not be a fucking rock star, fucking MVP season for him, but for fantasy, I'm sorry, but Justin Jefferson is going to produce. I'll never get him because I'm in the back of both of my fucking drafts, so it doesn't matter. But I would draft him over most of the people that people are going to draft him over. Like I would draft Justin Jefferson before CeeDee Lamb because we have no idea what that's going to
do. Kudos to you. Fucking brave move. When one guy might not even play the first 6 to 8 weeks of the fucking year. You're a fantasy genius.
Real quick.
Guess what? That's the same position that Jamar Chase is in.
Jace's record in the last 2 seasons in the $100 buy-in money league, 5-23 combined between the seasons. 5-23.
Yeah, it happens. I mean,
just want to point that out.
Well, while we're sitting on everyone else, Jesse, go grab that trophy and count Carly's name on there too, and Jason's.
Yeah. Hey, Carly, have you ever won a fucking fantasy league? If you want to get on that fucking boat, yeah. How many times you won the home league?
Wait, have you won one since I've been in it?
Jason's on here in 2015.
Yeah.
That second year we had it activated.
That was what 2015. That was 10 years ago. Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, Jesse,
okay. Yes. You still Steeler fans still talk about fucking Super Bowls from 1978 or whatever. I'm
last time they were relevant. Yeah.
Fantasy win from 2016. Fuck you, you've never won one. Kiss my
Jesse
ass.
has the most right now with 3 wins: 2016, 2020, and then 2022. I was
In the 10
17
team
and
last year, I was in the semifinals. The year before that, I was in the championship.
Yep.
And by the way, the year before
Actually,
that, I was in the
last year-
championship and I got
Way to
fucked
celebrate
because of
mediocrity
fucking-
and not winning.
There you go.
No, I
Actually,
got
I
fucked
get over
won
the
when I
hump.
was in
last
the
year, and then I was
championship.
in the
You were a
championship
product of
against
the
Jesse the previous
participation
year.
trophy
Yeah,
era.
you were. Mhm.
And everybody yelled at me
I
for the
was in
super
the
trade I made at the
semifinals.
end, but it was the
I
only reason I was
second.
there.
Only reason. Yep.
Listen, the two Jessies are the only people that can talk about the 12 team. I can sit and talk shit about the 10 team all day because I've been in the semifinals and the championship every year that I've played.
You've never won
probably
a
won't
10
happen
You have
again
been
since I
at
joined it.
every
You've never won
podcast.
one, and I'm sorry, but it must sting for you. It must really hurt. It's okay.
Get good.
And anyhow, the 3 champions are talking. Let's just continue on.
I'm sorry, I've forgotten your championship. It happened 10 years ago.
Oh no.
Were you a teenager back then there, Jace?
Anyways, let's not go too deep into our own fantasy football.
Yeah, no.
Oh,
Completely
now
out of
that
control.
we're on your ass, you don't want to go too far. Fuck
Carly, your overall record is 16 and 12 in that league.
Let's go.
I'm 14
What
and
was
14.
that? 5 and 23 as opposed to 16
Celebrate.
and 12?
Celebrating mediocrity.
One of
Eddie.
those is losing a championship, and the other one is losing a fucking semifinal.
It's sad. It's really sad.
Moving on to the final division. Now that we fucking went off the tangent. Final division here, the AFC North, our home division. I think, and I you guys are going to say this is biased, but I think this is one of the toughest divisions
Please, God,
in the
don't
AFC.
say that the Steelers are getting first because it's not happening.
Absolutely not. No, I said that this
Thank
is
you.
one of the hardest divisions in football.
This is a very hard division to say what's going to happen because we all know the Steelers fuck up divisional games.
Yeah.
We beat the Ravens every single year. It doesn't matter if they're home or away. We beat the Ravens every single time. Lamar Jackson literally shits his pants every time he plays us.
Literally.
And that is actually just fact.
Hang on. Let me and the non-Steeler fan in here just talk for a second.
I'm ready.
Mr. Excuse me, Mr. Eagles fan, sir. Do you actually? My assessment of this league, this division, in my unbiased opinion, is there's 3 good teams in it. Do you agree with me on that one?
I sure do.
And those 3 good teams are the Browns, the Bengals, and the Ravens. Are we in agreement on that?
I would agree with you. Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. I think that's all that needs to be said. Let's just move on past that.
Although the Browns are good, who knows? But
the Browns are very much like, will you shut the fuck up and let somebody else speak for 5 goddamn seconds? I'm in the middle of something.
I need a gap.
The Browns are very much the same as the Jets, whereas Nick Chubb's going to come back. They could be fucking really dangerous, or they could be a 6-win bottom dwell.
My issue with the Browns is that they were a better team with Joe Flacco than they were with Deshaun Watson. So
that's because Joe Flacco is elite.
Well, yeah, you're right. He is elite. You're right.
Honestly, I don't care. Like, even you guys as Steeler fans, like, what a fucking story.
No, I'm not going to lie. I've never been a fan of Joe Flacco. But that was fucking awesome to see.
Insane.
Guy was falling asleep in that Thursday night game against the Jets, whoever they played.
Oh,
literally
yeah.
Just
Flacco coming in? Absolutely.
He full just on dad moved it, like passing out in the recliner in the living room. Like,
it got so out of control, though. By the time they made it to the playoffs, everyone was convinced the Browns were going to beat the Texans, but that's how you know it went.
I was on that bandwagon.
I'm not even lying to you.
No.
I was 100% back in that train.
Actually, you know what?
I'm pretty sure I put money on that.
You don't have a soul if you didn't believe in Joe Flacco.
It's true.
I thought it would be a good game, but I didn't know that they were going to win the game.
Everybody's seen like Bull Durham or something like that, where it's just like, or The Replacements. It's like, this is the ultimate feel-good story. This is Hollywood, but. No,
the NFL script said no.
Yeah.
No, afraid not.
that one got shut real quick. Which, yeah, I
Oh,
think
you're
that
not
was,
the same team every year, so you can't be in it. Sorry.
yeah. Whoops.
Whoops.
But what do you think the Bengals are going to be this year? Because that's my. So the Bengals are the one where I'm like, I mean, they don't have Joe Mixon anymore. They've got Joe Mixon was a huge part of their offense for a long time. So what? I mean, what they have Chase Brown and
Zach Moss.
that's probably Zach Moss. Yeah, like my thing
Bengals
is
line is still
without
bad,
having
and that's
the
the
running
biggest
game
problem.
of Mixon. Yeah,
Because Mixon
what's going
made
to
up
happen?
for a lot of their line defects with his running style, and I don't know that the line for the Colts was good, and that's why Zach Moss and Jonathan Taylor have such good success over there. I don't know that Zach Moss will have the same success on the Bengals team that he
Hard
did.
to say.
They did get Orlando Brown Jr. at tackle, but I mean that's a small upgrade. Like you said, it's a huge issue.
Yeah, and that's why Joe is always
it's
injured because he has to run for his life so much.
But he dyed his hair and he looks like Eminem at the moment.
Well, yeah, you can't argue with that.
If we're gonna have a serious conversation about Daniel Jones's beard, we have to factor in Joe Burrow showing up
bleach
like
Joe Burrow's Eminem look. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I think the Bengals can definitely be a contender in this, and I think they are a playoff team. I think this is unfortunately still going to be the Ravens winning this division.
I would agree. My biggest concern with the Bengals is still Joe Burrow's injury. Like his finger or hand injury, whatever it is apparently so uncommon. Yeah, it's so uncommon for a quarterback to get. He was like asking for advice on his injury, and he couldn't find. The only people he could talk to about it were offensive linemen, and he's apparently not throwing the football 3 days in a row in practice. So I don't love that. If he can't throw the football 3 days in a row in practice, how's he going to survive a 17-game NFL season? I don't know.
Yeah, that's where I'm at with the Bengals. I feel like they could either be what they were last year with him being injured, or they could be good if he stays healthy, and that's why I think the Steelers kind of could yo-yo between the 2 and the 4, simply because we win division games. We beat the Ravens. We're not going to be
4 because of our division, like how they perform.
All we've done is improve our team this year. We're not going to be 4. Okay, let me screenshot this.
Where's the graphic that showed the last time the Steelers were last in their division?
Hang on. Well, it's always coming.
4th overall.
Hold up. It's like what's the dude on
in the division?
You sure about that?
If I had to,
sure about that? You're sure about that?
No, I also don't think that we're going to be 4 because all we've done is make improvements. I mean,
if we can go 9-8 with Kenny fucking Pickett, then there's no reason we can't go 9-8 with Russell Wilson.
Honest about this. Where guess what? We lost Deontay Johnson and shit. Oh no, we lost like
we'll finish afterwards.
A few receptions per game and a couple tantrums. Oh no. Send him off to the fucking Panthers. We don't have much. Our offense could be interesting this year. I have no idea what to expect from it. It could be just as bad as it has been.
Yeah.
Very well. But even as bad as it has been, guess what? We haven't been last in the fucking division.
Well, who finished last in the division last year?
Bengals.
Did they? Okay. Didn't they have a very similar record?
Was it Bengals, Browns, Steelers, Ravens?
I know. The Browns made the playoffs.
Bengals, Browns, Steelers, Ravens, I think, last year.
Yeah, I think we were 3rd.
Yeah.
And we beat the Ravens twice. Both times we played them, we beat them. We do, though, I will say, have probably one of the shittiest schedules in the NFL, where we play nothing until the last 7 games of the season, where we play all of our division games. The last 9 games of the season are all division games. We play the Eagles and the Chiefs in that. And I what is the Eagles, the Chiefs, and the Cowboys? I think we play in the last like 9
You'd have to
games
pull
of
up
our
the
season
schedule. I'm
this
not
year.
sure.
Our end of the if we can't stay healthy this year, then we may be last simply because of what our fucking schedule is. We don't play a division game until like week 9 or 10.
All right, it's
I actually think our
Bengals
first division game is
18,
week 10.
Chiefs 17, Ravens 16, Eagles 15, Browns 14, Bengals 13, Browns 12, Ravens 11. So
Yeah.
from week
That is
11
the end of our
on,
schedule.
it is all our division and the Chiefs and Eagles.
The Chiefs and Eagles. Yeah, that is our end of our season is all of our division games and the Chiefs and the Eagles.
But here's the
So
thing.
if we don't stay healthy and we don't win at the beginning of the season, we're fucked. And I agree with that.
But here's the thing. Historically speaking, even when we have bad
I'm sorry.
record.
What are the Raiders gonna do this year with Aiden O'Connell? I mean, I can understand the Eagles fan laughing, but what
we're
are
not
the Raiders
talking
going
about
to
the
do?
NFC West. Your feelings are hurt. It's okay. Hang on. Okay, now Jesse.
I just see all the
please.
laughing.
Yes,
and
Jace, yes.
Hang on.
I just see the laughing, and I can understand the Eagles fan laughing, but the Raiders fan laughing is just sweet, sweet nectar in my veins.
Oh yeah, that's especially considering we have a better
When was the
defense
last
than
time
you guys will this year.
game?
But anyhow, that's a story for
Reel
another
it
day.
in. Reel it in.
Carry
reel
on.
it in.
Talk to your fucking sister. Don't tell me.
I know. She goes off in her
he's got the
tangents.
laughs going on. I just
Here.
need to hear what his team's
Well,
doing.
just keep sipping the Kool-Aid. It's beautiful. It's going to be so wonderful. Jesse,
Well, no, I mean,
Jesse,
his
now,
mentality for the
will
Steelers
you
this
let
year.
me have my fucking moment?
I wish I could
You
around
just
the horn
told me.
mute her right now.
Okay, just keep going. Whatever. I'm fine. Just keep talking over me. It's all good. I've only been trying to talk for the last 5 fucking minutes.
Go.
Ain't no
You
con.
have the
Blah, blah,
floor.
blah.
You have the floor, sir.
Jesse,
Yes.
Ravens, Browns, Bengals, Steelers. Do you disagree?
No, I don't disagree. I think the Steelers' schedule is absolutely brutal. I think this is probably the first year Mike Tomlin doesn't get his glorified above 500 record.
Well, I know the reason we were looking back and forth and laughing at each other was because I have a feeling we were thinking the same thing. They keep talking about the brutal part of their schedule. I don't think it might matter by the time they get to that. It may all just be a walk.
Yeah, unless one of these quarterbacks hits, and they run into that end of the stretch.
Do you see the first part of the schedule?
I'm not being a hater. I am not being unrealistic. It is just the most important thing.
Tough.
I'm just asking, do you see the first half of the schedule?
I have not.
Falcons, Broncos, Chargers, Colts, Cowboys, Raiders, Jets, Giants. I'm sorry, but that's like 7 wins right there. I don't understand.
But you're saying if you guys have figured it all out on this brand new offense with 2 new quarterbacks, you have to understand the reality may be before you figure out whether, because you're going to start Russ probably to start the year and say he has a lackluster start. And then you go to Fields. What I'm saying is if you already have kind of, okay, so you played the first 7 games, say you're 3-4 when you go into that 9-game stretch where everything gets brutal. You might only win 2 or 3 more games through that if you have a slow start. And that is just...
And I'm trying to say this in the best way possible to not sound biased. You guys don't understand how well we do in our own division.
Yeah,
we were 3rd in our division last year and had a 5-1 record against division opponents.
Yeah.
I'm not disagreeing with you at all, but even with Pickett, you got it is far and far away that you have the 4th worst quarterback in this division, no matter who starts.
I'm not disagreeing with you there at all.
At this very moment. I am just saying.
No, I don't disagree with that either. I don't.
I also, the more I look at the schedule, the more I go, why is everybody so scared of this schedule? Because it's divisional games, Eagles and Chiefs. I get the Eagles and Chiefs. Those are probably losses.
Yeah, we're losing to the Eagles and Chiefs. There's no way around that.
But those other 6 games, I see 4 wins out of that, at least. I think that
Well,
those
we'll beat the Ravens both times.
out of
because
those
I don't
eight
think they-
games, I think it's a 4-4 stretch.
I don't think it's fair to just lock in all of your divisional games as wins, though. Like
Yeah,
divisional
Against
games,
the Browns, yes.
And seeing
Against
the
the
Ravens
Bengals,
with Derrick
yes.
Henry now, you're going to win both games
we
automatically.
always split with we usually split with the Browns. We usually split with the Bengals, but we always beat the fucking Ravens. Lamar
It's true.
Jackson. And it is, as a Steeler fan, not a conspiracy, not talking out of our ass. He literally shits the bed every time he plays us. It doesn't matter.
to be
He
fair, last
actually
year,
has
I don't
his
think that you
worst
played
games
Lamar
of his
Jackson.
career when he plays the fucking Steelers.
No, I know that that's true, but did you guys even play Lamar twice last year? For some reason, I
One of
believe the
one of
second
the
game
weeks we didn't.
was Taylor or Tyler or Huntley or whatever
Yeah,
his name.
but it was week 17, I think.
Were they resting? Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't
I'm pretty
remember,
sure
but
they
I
were
do know there
resting
was
Lamar when we
one we
played them
didn't
the second
play.
time. But we beat the Ravens. Every time they come to Pittsburgh, we beat them. Browns is pretty much the same way. Browns on the road, questionable. Bengals, we usually split with them. There's no reason that
We
we
beat the
can't.
Browns last year without putting up an offensive touchdown.
Even if you think that
That's
that's
embarrassing.
3-3, and we lose to the Chiefs and the Eagles, we're 3-5 at the end of the season. We play the
90% of the
Broncos.
Steelers games are that gif of Jesse Pinkman yelling, "We can't keep letting them get away with this."
Yeah.
And that is
Right.
how they win. And it's horrible. I hate it, but it's how they win.
Judging off of last year, which you always have to do with an NFL team, judging off of last year, I don't think that the divisional games will be a massive hurdle to get over, but the end of the season is going to be tough for us if we're not healthy.
It's
If we're
the way
healthy-
the games are lined up because
The
let's
fact
see.
that we don't play a divisional game in the first 10 fucking weeks of the season is, that shouldn't even be fucking allowed.
we play week 11 Sunday at 1, and then week 12 is a Thursday night game. Then
That's
it
the other
goes
problem. You're right. That's the other problem with our schedule is we play the Eagles, the Ravens, and the Chiefs, I'm pretty sure, within
In a
like
10-day
14 days.
in a 10-day span.
Yeah,
15th is
10
the
days span. We
Eagles.
play the Eagles,
The
the Chiefs,
Ravens
and the
is
fucking
the
Ravens.
21st.
Yeah.
And then the Chiefs are on a Wednesday on Christmas.
That's
So,
the other problem with the schedule
there is
is
a-
that we play those hard games within a 10-day span.
Yeah, those
So we're
probably are
probably
3
fucked on
losses
that.
right there.
Are
I'm
we
gonna
making
say
the playoffs? No. We're not making the playoffs. Nobody's saying that.
we are not
Are
the
we
basement dweller
the
in this
worst
division.
team?
Well,
Are we
my
four in
thing
the
with the
division?
Steelers
I don't
is-
think so.
My thing with the Steelers is like because you guys always go like 9-8 or 8-8, like that kind of just leaves you guys in a middle ground constantly. That it never
Right.
gives you an opportunity to have a high draft pick to actually like draft a quarterback
Exactly.
or draft a difference maker. And the Steelers aren't like a team that's going to go out and sign a bunch of free agents. They're not generally the type of team that's making trades, barring the Ayuk thing. So I feel like them just constantly being stuck in the middle is not a good thing. It just like kind of keeps you guys stagnant in where you are.
Preaching
Hey,
to the
so
choir,
also-
my man.
In the event that we would get Ayuk, how does that change everybody's minds, or how do you adjust to that at all, if at all? I personally, for me, I don't really adjust our wins and losses to that. Personally,
I wouldn't either.
I think it gives us 1 to 2 more wins. Not drastic, but I think it gives us 1 to 2 more wins.
It's going
I
to
don't
depend
think-
on how well the quarterbacks are playing.
I don't think it matters for the sole fact of you guys are unfortunately another metric that's going against you. You were the leader in one-score wins last year in the NFL, and pretty much every year that happens, like I believe
Starts to go the other way.
last year, before last year with the Vikings and Kirk Cousins, when they won all those close games, and then you saw how it went the next season. That coupled with Arthur Smith coming in to run your offense and 2 new quarterbacks that you're not even really sure who the guy is going to be yet. Like a lot of things are working not in your favor.
Yeah. I still personally feel that everybody is very hyped up on the Browns, and they, I think, are the basement dweller in this division.
I am not one of those people. I'm not hyped up on the Browns. I don't have a
It's a
good
lot
feel
of
for them.
I also agree that the Browns are finishing last. I think we take
It's all
third.
going to be dependent on how Chubb comes back from his injury, I feel.
I don't even consider him a factor. I just don't think he's gonna
Yeah.
come back and be the same guy at least this year.
Sean
Like, there's
Watson
just no way.
has shown shit.
I honestly think the Browns could be a little bit a team like we were talking about the Jets, where if everything clicks and everything goes well, they could be like a force to be reckoned with, or they're going to be,
Yeah, I
Dancing
agree.
around.
The Bengals are the team in this division that makes me think like that. Because
Yeah, because they could easily win the division if everything, like,
Right.
if Burrow stays healthy and they're clicking.
Yeah, Chase comes back, Burrow stays healthy, like that offense can be pretty stellar, and they have a above average defense in a lot of aspects. So I feel like, yeah, that team could be the one that surprises everybody and wins the division, or surprises everybody and fucking tanks.
I would bet on them, though, because I think they have the best quarterback in the division.
I think they do too. Yes, I agree with you there. Barring the injury, I think that he is the best quarterback in the division. I am not a fan of Lamar Jackson. I am more of a fan. I feel like Watson is above Jackson personally, because I do not feel that Jackson is a natural thrower.
I don't love him as a quarterback either, but Deshaun Watson just doesn't look like he can play football to me. So
yeah, it's not wrong. But yeah, I personally feel like it's the Ravens division. I think that the 2 and 3 are going to be the Steelers, Bengals, and then the Browns coming up as the rear, where the Brown likes to be. Poop joke, anybody? No? No, nothing?
nothing.
Okay. All right. I think the only thing I also want to close out with here, do we see any more crazy trades out? One, Brandon Ayuk, do we even see this happening? Because I'm still at the point like, no, this is not happening. He's re-signing with the Niners.
I think he's just going to re-sign with the 49ers.
He's re-signing, yeah. No doubt.
A lot of media
Well, if you think
hype
about it
around
from his
and I love
perspective.
it, but I don't think
Yeah, because it gives people something to talk about, but I just think it makes more sense for him to stay where he's at. It'd be on a good football team, gives him a chance to win. Why would you want to move over maybe a difference of a couple $1 million? I think he'll just stay put.
Yep, I agree. We'll see. Hopefully in the next weeks, because who knows how fucking long they'll drag this out.
No, I know. We're pretty much just watching for these other holdouts other than that and praying for no other injuries, which will happen, I'm sure.
And then as for the holdouts, what do we feel about Jamar Chase right now? Do you feel that he's going to be back by, preseason week 3?
I don't really have a great feel for Jamar Chase whatsoever. I know he's like holding in, like he's there, but he's not like participating in practice or anything. Obviously he wants a new contract.
That's also
but
what
I feel like
CD's doing, I believe.
he's not even showing up.
No,
he's not showing up.
Who am I thinking
he's
of?
not even showing up.
I'm thinking of I'm thinking of Brandon Ayuk. He's also holding
in. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Just means he's there watching them for no reason, basically. Right. Being a distraction.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I feel like Chase is going to get this. Out of all the holdout wide receivers, I feel like he's the one that's going to get decided first. Because they obviously are not going to re-sign T. Higgins since they franchise tagged him. He's going to be gone next season. I think he's going to be. I was kind of hoping the Steelers would trade for him because I feel like he is an awesome, awesome receiver that hadn't been given the chance because of Jamar Chase coming. And I think wherever he goes, he's going to be a fantastic number 1 for that team. But that's just me. I am a fan of T. Higgins. But now
I want that on record.
Yeah, I think T. Higgins stays on the Bengals. I mean, I don't think he's going anywhere.
No, he was just saying that
he
thinks he'd be very good.
Is gone.
After this franchise, yeah.
I think
everybody was talking this offseason about him going somewhere, but clearly not.
But I think that Jamar Chase gets decided first, and then I honestly think that CeeDee Lamb may not get decided. Because I feel like Brandon Ayuk's situation is going to resolve before CD Lamb's does.
Well, the Cow. Go ahead, Jace.
No, I just said 100%. I was agreeing with Jesse.
Yeah. Well, the Cowboys have already backed themselves in the corner with CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb is not a better wide receiver than Justin Jefferson, but because they waited so long, he's going to have to make more money than Justin Jefferson.
Yep.
So they're either going to have to do it or they're not, and they better make a decision quick, because if they send Dak out there week 1 without CeeDee Lamb, good luck.
That's it.
Rico
Who
Dowdle.
else do they have?
Brandon Cooks, who's 31.
Right,
Who's
Brandon
on his,
Cooks.
12th
They
team.
don't have they don't have Dalton Schultz anymore because he
No,
was
Ferguson.
a Cardinal. Oh yeah,
Couldn't tell you another wide receiver.
yeah, yeah.
It's bad. It's that bad. This Cowboys team is horrible. All right. Any final thoughts before we sign out? Anybody got your final says? Jace, you got something for me?
Nothing. Just looking forward to see what happens with, I think, the next round of preseason games can start Friday or Saturday. So.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm pretty
Yeah, no,
excited.
I would just pray for no more injuries to significant players, at least.
Right? It's going to make a
As long as you're not the
fantasy
Vikings,
season.
you should be okay.
That's
That's right.
all right. Coming from you live from Jesse Baden Guest Bedroom Studios, we thank you all for joining us in All the Rage Sports for our first broadcast in 3 years. We hope you can join us. We're going to be on every Wednesday. I will, once I get all the technology understanding, start streaming these live on
Don't
YouTube.
change anything.
Don't touch a thing, because I think this worked. So we will be streaming it live on YouTube Live as well. I will upload the video to YouTube. You'll be able to find us on Spotify or wherever you find your podcasts. Carly is currently in charge of our Twitter right now, along with Jace. So watch out for things on there.
Send me
as
links.
well. I'll send you the links of these, and we also will post it to our webpage, alltheragesports.weebly.com. Weebly, excuse me. So yeah, everything is back. I'm really excited to be back. I'm glad that we were able to get a good show off the bat here. We went off on our tangents, but that's why we're called All the Rage Sports. And I'm just really excited to be back in the swing of things. So tune in next week, Wednesday. We will try to start by 8:30 sharp. Whenever Carly
Wait, what
decides
time?
to be there. I'm trying to say 8:30, but you decided 9:30 today. So
Listen, I got in at 9:15 and you still weren't ready, so it's all fine.
listen, not the point I'm trying to make here.
That's all I got.
All right, thank you all, and have a wonderful night. And as always, remember to rage on.